Oh God, how did I live this way for this long?
It's
You
there.
can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it. Hi, everyone. It's Henrietta and Heather, and welcome to a Millennial podcast where we dive deep into the life of our 30s.
We'll discuss our struggles, dreams, relationships, icks, and anything millennials can relate to. Sit back, relax, and let's head on this journey together. We are 30s Unfiltered.
Have you ever looked around and realized that you don't belong in the life that you once begged for?
Today, we're talking about the hidden grief of reinvention and what no one tells you about growing out of your old life. I think it was a couple of years ago when I started actually doing personal development and really getting in tune with my values, my morals, because the the people that I was surrounding myself with, I just realized we just were completely different. We didn't want the same things. And so I was headed down a different path where a lot of the people were just partying, stuck at their 9 to 5 jobs, not really ambitious. And so I think during that time, I was just very confused, lost, and just very stagnant. There's just this feeling inside of you that you just know that something's wrong, like something's off. And you just
Yeah.
really can't figure out what's going on. And then I was thinking like, am I going into a depression? Like what's actually happening here? Do I need to go seek a therapist? And I think that's when I started actually being proactive about finding a therapist, going out, seeking different resources because none of my friends were speaking about any of these tools.
When you said, have you noticed when something just feels off? Well, yeah, most of my life, something just felt, something just felt, it wasn't necessarily always the same thing, but there was always something that I was like questioning or didn't know because something just felt off. When I came back here, I felt like a foreigner in my own country. Yeah, I don't necessarily think people here have changed. I think I'm the one that changed and I just got so acclimated to a different culture and I changed because I moved when I was 21 and lived there for all my 20s. So that's pretty much when you grow into the person you're gonna most likely be for the rest of your life. And so when I already had grown into that version of myself, when I came back here, that version didn't really fit because I had outgrown my old version that did fit. But it's weird because it didn't always fit, but I made myself fit because I that's all I knew. But I didn't always feel like I could be myself fully,
Mm-hmm.
which is obviously something that I'm still trying to figure out. But I I just knew how to fit the mold because I grew up here, you know? But now that I've outgrown that old version, I don't know, I can't shrink myself into a mold that is too small for me, the version that I now am.
Yeah.
So I still feel like a foreigner here, minus because it was our Independence Day yesterday. And if all of Norway was like that all year round, it would be the best place to live
Mm-hmm.
because everyone is so happy. Everyone talks to everyone. The whole energy of the country shifts. And I get it because it's our Independence Day. It's a big celebration. But why can't we act a little bit more like that every day? That feels more like the American culture to me. Just everyone saying hi to everyone. Did
I
you
get
hear?
it. Okay. Because everyone's so kind of like stern. They don't say hi to each other. I get it. I get it. They're
Yeah.
not as friendly.
Right. Well, I mean, just to correct you, they're not friendly with people they don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
Strangers.
strangers, no. I think because of the topic being like the grief of outgrowing your old life, I think it's good to evolve. Obviously, it's good to grow and to change, but there is an element of sadness, at least in my case, because I wish that, some elements of it could grow with me.
Right. Why does growth often feel like it's a loss? Why do you think that's the case?
Everything is a relationship you have with yourself or with a place, people, a culture. It's very hard to kind of decide to grow together in the same direction. For
Hmm.
the most part, I feel like I have grown apart from things and from people. Not to say that we're estranged, but like it is harder to find more things in common when you grow apart. It's inevitable.
Yeah, you can grow apart. I feel like people don't necessarily embrace the change that
Mm.
some people go through, and they're not accepting of this person's new identity
Hmm.
of where they want to lead their life moving forward. And
Hmm.
so people want to keep them stuck and trapped in the view that they have of them. And so I feel like not a lot of people are necessarily supportive of people's change,
Right.
right?
I think one of the biggest changes with just my personality after living in LA for so long is how open I am talking about things like therapy.
I don't think a lot of people have the proper communication skills to actually share what's there for them. And the ability to be vulnerable takes something.
Hmm.
So, not a lot of people share what they're actually feeling,
Yeah,
because a lot of us wear masks all the
totally.
time.
I think that 90% or more of my friends in LA or anyone that I've met there have been in therapy at least once in their lives. And
Yeah.
here, as far as I know, I think only three of my friends have either been in or tried therapy. And I've noticed that one of my friends who just started, she already um, talked differently after that. And I think because we learn so many skills through therapy, especially because it's all about communication, how you talk to yourself, how you talk to others, how you heal your inner child, all that stuff. I think once you unlock that skill, you can never undo it. It's
You
just there.
can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it.
You can't unsee the toxic.
No, but no, that's not what I meant. I mean, like,
No,
the,
I know, I'm just saying, I'm just
but
joking.
that too, hopefully.
I know. You can't unsee
Mm-mm.
all of the toxic traits. And
Mm-mm.
again, I used to be there at one point, and I'm just like, oh God, how did I live this way for this long? It can be very lonely.
Totally.
I feel like there's not a lot of people that choose to go down this path, and that's okay. But sometimes it can feel pretty lonely. The story that I always tell myself is like, people don't understand me. People don't get me. People are not as supportive of the things that I'm doing or what I'm up to. They don't get it because they're not doing it. And again, this goes back to I'm literally changing my whole community around me for people to fit where I'm actually at in my life,
Mm.
that are supportive, that do talk, that are vulnerable, that are growing, that are developing, doing different things. I'm really getting out of the norm. When you leave people behind,
Mm.
there's like some type of guilt to that, right? Like you leave your old friends behind, you leave this old life behind, you leave your old self behind, but you want to try to bring those people with you, but they aren't necessarily on the same page as you. So it's like, I don't know, for me, I get really sad because I can't really fully share myself with them
Mm-hmm.
because they just don't get it,
Yeah.
right? I literally have to keep my conversations in a box. I don't know if you've ever felt that way where you can only talk about certain things. You can't really share anything new. Have you ever had that experience?
Now when I hang out with my friends here, they all have kids, and I'm doing all the things that they're not doing. And so that's my everyday life. And their everyday life is their kids. And so whenever we're together, they mainly talk about kids and baby stuff and like pregnancy, because there's always someone who's pregnant. And I don't know how to relate to it. Like, I'll ask because I obviously care about them, I care about their kids, but I don't have any experience, so I can't really like speak on it, you know? And so that's just what we talk about. But obviously, that's not my interests, which if they didn't have kids, they wouldn't be interested either. That's just
Yes.
natural.
So, navigating these identity shifts, what are some of the tools that you use in your day-to-day life to self-validate, affirm that you're in the right direction and it's okay that nobody understands you? How do you support yourself?
It's a good question. It's something that just gets easier with time. I think the tool specifically is just learning and evolving, I think, for me. Yeah, I don't think there's anything specific. I think it's just with time, I'm gaining new perspective and then I'm just like accepting, I think, and knowing that there's so many options. You can outgrow everything and it'll still be okay. And you can go back to some things too, coexisting and accepting.
Navigating identity shifts for myself, it goes back to, like me being frustrated, me withholding communication, me just feeling some type of way about what people have to say. It goes back to me having to accept other people for who they are, creating boundaries. And then I actually look at myself in the mirror and I tell myself that I love you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I look at myself and I'm like, I love you. Even if nobody else understands you, I love you. I look at myself in the eye and I'm like, I love you, Heather.
Aw.
You're gonna be okay. The other day I did it and I like almost started crying.
Aw.
I was just like, nobody gets me, but I get you. And I said, I got your back. I love you. You're gonna be okay. And so that, like, those are some things that I do. And then obviously, that I journal.
Mhm.
And then like talk to people that I can share with. But again, I think it goes back to me utilizing the tools that I learned in therapy of how to set boundaries, how to pick and choose who I share things with.
Yeah. Yay, therapy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, with the whole accepting and thing, I feel like I will always be very grateful that I'm from here. And I am seeing more and more things the older I get that I'm like, I really love this about Norway. And then I'm also seeing other things the older I get, like, why are we doing that here? Why is this a thing here? Like, there's things that I thought was amazing when I was a kid, whereas now I'm like, what? And vice versa with things that I didn't understand when I was a kid, and now I'm like, oh yeah, cool. So I think it just really depends on what stage you're in life. But I think with age just comes perspective. And because I've been back and forth so many times, I've I've gained maybe more perspective than others who haven't moved back and forth so many times. And it's like good or bad, or good and bad, because certain things you just want to be kind of in like blissfully unaware of, you know what I mean? Just to have that the idea of no, this is great, But yeah, that's my truth, my reality. People have different, lives, different realities, and that's okay, but that's at least it's helped me just
Yeah.
realizing, accepting, and then thinking, okay, well, I can I can change my surroundings. I can change because I know that I'm never going to live here for the rest of my life. And I keep saying that, and certain people don't believe me, but I'm like, yeah, I will not live here forever. So,
Should I go get my visa and then, because Mason will go off to college in about 5 years,
mhm.
I can go live in Europe.
Come move to Spain with me. That's my next move.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah,
Who
let's not
knows?
end
In
it there,
5 years, once I'm fully remote and,
empty
I
nester.
can go and go wherever I want to
Hmm.
live.
Well, not
Yeah.
fully empty nester, but at least he's off to college.
Yes.
Has he started thinking about where he wants to go for college?
No, he's in 7th grade.
I know, but some kids
Some kids
dream
do. Yeah.
about their schools from a very young age. So I was like,
Yeah.
maybe. You're like,
No.
no USC, no UCLA. Go
He's gonna
out of
go
state.
far. He's gonna have a dorm. Maybe we'll get him an apartment. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
Yay.
I'll be 40 and free. 40 and
I
free.
love
Shit,
it.
I'll be 40.
We will all be 40 at one point.
Yeah. 40 and free, and then it'll be 40s unfiltered.
We will see. We'll cross that bridge when we
gosh.
get there.
Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. DM us or tag us in your stories. We want to hear your reinvention story. Until next time.
Bye. Hey, thanks for listening. We hope you got some takeaways from today's episode.
You can also follow us on Instagram and YouTube at 30s Unfiltered or email us at 30sunfiltered@gmail.com.
Please leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to our channels. See you next time.